Waukesha parade start. That was where that guy drove that car through that parade. I'm honestly, like, obviously there's some like political conspiracy theories that have popped up, like what was his motive? Was this retaliation, you know, for Kyle Rittenhouse and all that stuff? But that is one thing I'm thinking, and I think SK saying, how come we're not getting? That's a really good point, SK. Where are the weird conspiracy? Travis Scott, that took an hour before those conspiracy theories were out. An hour. And we're like on day 3. I look at my watch like I have one. It's been almost a couple days. At least a couple days. So that's an interesting one. I'm going to actually go look for that, SK. I'm going to put you down as a note there. But yeah, where is this was predictive programming. If you had watched, you know, Ronin and it had this scene with the parade or yeah, you're right. It's super weird that no one's really, really pushing that. Nicole, thank you so much. Putting you down here. Also getting a ride, piloting the Carpenter copter. Thank you so much. It's amazing. And Rudy Jazz, thank you. Rudy Jazz, mainstay on the Patreon Discord. I want to be more on. Yeah, Nicole, thank you again. That's so amazing. I want to be more on the Patreon Discord. I want to do a bunch of stuff. I've been thinking about trying to do like a movie night, because I always go, oh dude, what if we do like a movie night every Saturday night? And then I was like, there's no way. I don't know why I always try to do, why I always go, I'm gonna do a podcast, and it will be every single day. It would be cool to do like maybe a monthly movie night, right? That would be cool. But you know, the problem is that I start movies and I watch 10 minutes of it and I'm like, oh, this is lame. And I'll shut it off, and then I'll start another movie and watch 10 minutes. Like the other day when I saw Mope, I had watched 4 movies before I got to Mope. And Mope is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie now. But I watched like 4 movies before I got there. True, honest Will Smith, thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out with us, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. And you know, True, honest Will Smith's comment, this has been the worst year of their life. I've been hearing that from a lot of you guys, and that sucks. But I'm glad that this show, and that's what True, honest Will Smith is saying. Is like, well, actually, he doesn't say that this show. I thought this show made things easier. He didn't say that. But hopefully it did. These past 2 years have been rough. You know, it's funny, the other day I was talking to a friend. I haven't talked to her in a long time, my friend. And she started talking about COVID vaccines and COVID in general. And I thought, you know what's so funny? Early on, when that first started back in 2019, I was like, oh, I'm not going to. No, it started in like 2020, right? It started late 2019. I go, I'm not going to cover this stuff. It's kind of depressing. I did 2 episodes on it. One episode was like, it's all going to one episode. One episode, I'm surprised YouTube hasn't taken down, but it was during the time that I was recording this episode, like in February of 2020, and I was like, it's fine. It was mostly because one person commented and go, this didn't age well, and I thought, well, it does, because I was actually calling out stuff like, I don't believe they're bolting people into the houses in China. All that video footage was coming out of China, like streets full of people flipping around on the ground, and I go, I don't think that's real. And I go, I think it's just going to blow over. Now, I was wrong on the second point, but on the first point, I do think that was a lot of fake news going around there. But yeah, no, hopefully this year will be better. Cantillians, do you think more people are starting to believe more paranormal? You know, it's so funny. Cantillians, the other day, I was going to do an episode on this, I haven't yet. The other day, some real estate company, it was like coming up to Halloween, did a survey on how many people believe about the paranormal. And I was like, this can't, where did they get the sample size? Of middle school? Like, it was like 80% of the population in the United States believes in ghosts. And I go, that number's way too high. I think paranormal is one of those things that more people do believe in it than they say, but they get laughed at. If you tell people you believe in ghosts, there are people who will openly mock you for that. And nowadays you can say, I believe in UFOs, because that's becoming more mainstream, that UFOs and everything's like that. But yeah, it's tough, because I think on one hand we're trying to be a more rational society. Well, it's funny because I grew up in growing up in the 80s, it was all over the place. We had the remnants of the hippies. We had the chakra movement, the New Age movement, when yoga was still considered satanic. And you had the astrology was a huge thing. You had that one Shirley MacLaine, who was like a best-selling author and believed in reincarnation. It seems less so now than when I was a kid. It seems like paranormal belief is less mainstream now. Now it appears on channels like Gaia, which actually Demi Lovato, singer, actor, Demi Lovato, she's now doing paranormal research. She has a show on, like, I don't know, A&E or something like that. And I saw a headline and it said, Demi Lovato aligns herself with conspiracy theory website. And I was like, what? Like, that's interesting, right? I totally want to see what this is. I clicked on it. She was giving shout out to Gaia. And as much as I joke around about Gaia, I would not classify them as a conspiracy theory website. I mean, if you think Atlantis is a conspiracy theory, then maybe, but that just seemed to be a way to kind of box her in and to make her sound like a lunatic. That's interesting. El Pato says maybe the concert, the Travis Scott concert, was predictive of the parade. You know what's funny is I need to get my buddy Earbud over here. I need to get him over here just to hang out with him. It's been a long time since we hung out, but I would love to like play a little clip for you because I found like really weird footage from like the Travis Scott thing. There's like a monster. There's like a monster walking on the roof, but I can't show it to you. I have it. My friend in Canada sent it to me. Totally believe that it's true, but yeah, it was one of those videos. I'll put it. I'll talk about it on an episode. We'll put it in the show notes. It's one of those videos that could easily be faked, right, Travis? Monster. But yeah, there still is weird stuff coming out of there. But yeah, I'm curious about why there isn't more. Yeah, an idea guy, and so an idea guy says, I have a Bigfoot alien theory that's too long to put in a chat. Dude, I'm even down for your guys' theories like that. Like, there have been people in the past, like, email it to me, because you guys know I accept story ideas, but there have been other people who've been like, hey, I just have, like, this. I've covered them, too. I can't think of one off the top. Oh, I can. The one guy who said, I think conspiracy theories are a way to do insider trading. That was it. He sent me this theory. He sent me a little bit of proof. You know, like I've been talking to the guy for a while online, and he goes, this is what I believe, and these are the things I've done, and this is da-da-da-da-da. Signed, Dear George Soros. But no, and so I covered that. So if you do have like a really cool take on UFOs or Bigfoot or whatever, email it to me. I don't have a problem reading your guys' weird theories too, because I obviously come up with that. Jonathan recommends movie nights, but we only watch rom-coms. I could find some dope rom-coms, definitely. Does The Mask count as paranormal? I don't understand that comment, Sayla, but maybe some clarification. Let's see here. The entire X-Board, thank you for that donation. You are also back on the Carbonacopter. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Yeah, there's that weird line, because here's the thing, if you went to your job and you said, I believe in ghosts, people will go, you know, what do you mean? Like, it's kind of, you believe in Casper? But the entire X-Board is seeing a shift to spirituality. People don't make fun of your religion. They won't do it to your face, at least, right? If I said, hey guys, on the weekend, I'm going to go hunt Bigfoot. I'm going to go walk around in the woods. Actually, that's pretty cool. People do like it because at least you're outdoors. But hey, I'm a guy and I'm going to go hunt ghosts. I'm going to go break into this house and do all this stuff. They'll make fun of me. But what just happened, right? I'm speaking from experience. But if you started telling, it's funny, the entire X-Board now that you said that, is I will say that from time to time. I'll talk about stuff and I'll be like, I could sense their energy was kind of getting a little heightened, so I would just kind of pull myself away from the situation. That's not realistic. I mean, it's real. I understand what I'm saying, and I do think that people give off certain energy. And so if someone asks, you know, how come you didn't resolve that situation? That guy smashing all the laptop displays open. He was giving off a negative energy. Instead of being like, oh, I saw Benjamin Franklin's ghost warning me that something bad was going to happen. You can take paranormal beliefs and wrap them in the term spirituality, and people make fun of you. And so, I mean, don't take my word for it. Someone may still beat you up, but probably not. Yeah, Rabbitfish says the conspiracy scene has been different ever since everything on Earth became political. You know, it again, like it is. When I was growing up, and I don't mean to keep playing the old man role, but I like being this age doing this show, because when I was growing up, conspiracy theories were almost all political. You didn't have you didn't have stuff like you would have like a stabbing at the Rolling Stones concert, and that was just a stabbing at a Rolling Stones concert. We didn't have all this stuff about predictive programming because they didn't make it up back then. But you had tons of conspiracy theories about Ronald Reagan, about the Soviet Union, JFK, super political conspiracy theory. You had all of this stuff. I mean, like you had Roswell, which was, again, something like a conspiracy theorist who believed JFK was killed by the mafia. They weren't really interested in little green men. You've seen that blade over now because, I guess I should say, of sites like Gaia, like YouTube. You have these communities that build up and they kind of have a shared interest. But before, like if you thought Ronald William Reagan was the Antichrist, because each of his names had 6 letters in it, you probably didn't believe in Bigfoot. Right, like that was your main focus. And that's actually an interesting question. I wonder what the Venn diagram is of fundamentalist religious people who believe the world's going to end, you know, in this apocalyptic war between heaven and hell and, you know, beating up angels, and who believe in other paranormal stuff. Because like my mom, for example, she believes in the Bible, but she doesn't believe in ghosts, she doesn't believe in Bigfoot, she doesn't believe in any of that stuff. So, yeah, but, you know, there's stuff in the Bible. I mean, according to the Mormons, Bigfoot might have been in the Bible. There's stuff in the Bible that's weirder than anything we've talked about on the show. Hey, Charlotte, thanks for joining us here. Fenelline saying that, and responding to Jonathan, people who used to be rational atheists are now wholesale into conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories make sense of the nonsense the universe puts out. That's super attractive. And what's super weird that I've noticed is people who are extreme will fly across the political spectrum. It does not matter what the beliefs are. I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen personally. People who are extreme to the right, as things change and as they're perceiving information differently, they'll become super, super, like, leftist. And they'll do that for, and they'll do that for a period of time, and then they'll swap back, or, you know, it's weird. There's no in between. They don't, very rarely they go, I'm going to be moderate. So someone who is like atheist, someone who's like one of those people, and I don't know if these are your friends, Finley, but there are people who kind of like, that's their identity, that they're atheists. Not that, you know, they're a banker who has 3 kids and a nice home, and they just happen to also not believe God exists. People whose identity is wrapped up in a belief are far more likely to just go way over here. A lot of Q people, a lot of QAnon people started off as hippies, started off from that New Age movement. And that's that same age group. It's the boomers. It's that same age group. They've gone from being like, oh, maybe it's weird. If you go to that, because I've talked about it on the show, that Q Anonymous. Jonathan, thank you so much for the donation. I'll put this down and we'll get you in that Carpentercopter ASAP. When you go to that QAnon Casualties website that I talked about, that subreddit, so many of the people go, my mom used to be like a hippie. She used to have her own garden and she didn't eat genetically modified stuff, and now she believes that John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive. It's the weirdest thing. So you do see these big jumps back and forth. It's odd. Sorry, I'm just catching up here on these notes here. Just the guy says, more likely to believe in conspiracy stuff than a lot of people I know because I'm religious. I think that does open it. It does open that up. If you're secular, if you don't believe in any religion, I mean, the atheist is kind of, you will have people that flip flop, but I mean, if someone didn't believe in the eternal war between good and evil, you'd have a really hard time convincing them. You'd have a really hard time convincing them that Hillary Clinton's eating babies. like, that's a huge stretch, because then you're like, no, it's this demonic chemical called adrenochrome, and you're like, what? So it does help. It does help to have, and I'm getting you back in the helicopter as well, carbon helicopter as well, for thank you again for the donation. It does help to have that background, but it could also not be the best. Pickus, thank you for joining us as well. Yeah, I gotta look at. I think it'd be interesting to take a look at the. I think it'd be interesting to take a look at that Venn diagram between religion and how weird the beliefs get. I think that would be pretty interesting. But it's not wholesale though either. I'm wondering how much of it they would actually leave an alien as well. Because that's always been the concern. If aliens showed up tomorrow, what would it do to religion? Now, Rudy Jazz just posted. They went to a dark outpost on stream last night. David Zublik looks ill. David Zublik is the host of Dark Out. I checked him out probably a week or two ago as well. Yeah, I mean, he has some telltale signs that he has some issues. Yeah, he does. He has the red nose. He has the really kind of reddish, when all the blood vessels right to your nose type of look. He also reports bizarre content that can't, like, he's in some dark corners. David Zublik is in some really weird dark corners of the internet, and I think mentally as well. Like, I wish him the best. I wish he would stop reporting just nonsense. I had to stop watching him because some of this coverage he was doing was inappropriate. I felt like there is a line that you can draw when you're covering Pizzagate stuff, when you're covering child trafficking. He went too far. I think I discussed this on the Patreon Discord. I don't think I've ever discussed it here, so I might as well throw it out now. He will use images in his photo montages that are not images that I don't think should be used. I don't think they should be used, and I definitely don't want to see. Because if he's doing a story about child trafficking, he'll take a photo of a girl in a Halloween costume and be like, look at this, it's just it's just in a gross, you know what I mean? He's sexualizing children. I'll just come out and say it. Sometimes when he's trying to do these Pizzagate stories, his thumbnail will be a child dressed in a very provocative or sexualized way. When I'm saying child, I'm not saying 16-year-old. No, super young. And it's gross. It's gross because you have to wonder, is he doing that because this is the age victim of these Pizzagate people, or is he doing that because he knows it's going to get more clicks? It's the second one. And that's gross. I stopped going to it. He put up a thumbnail. I think it was Super Bowl. He goes, Super Bowl, there's more child trafficking during Super Bowl, which I've heard is accurate. There's more. I don't know necessarily child trafficking, but whenever you have these big global events, you have tons of people coming out. Thank you so much for the donation, Church Going Mule. Really appreciate that. He used a photo of a young girl, and she was wearing a football jersey, but it was I don't have any. My gauge for that stuff is so low. I don't want to see nothing. She even wearing a parka and mittens, putting that photo of that unwilling girl. This is a photo that he got offline and attached it to a story about child sex trafficking. Wearing what she was wearing, it was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. And I see him doing. I was like, nah. And I didn't stop going to his website for the longest time. And it was just the other day when I went back. Don't do that. That actually is hurting the girl in the photo. right? And it's hurting your message. You lost a viewer. I mean, I was always making fun of it, but I was still clicking on his stuff. But yeah, and I've noticed that not all the time. There are a lot of people who investigate stuff like Pizzagate that want to help children, and that's why they're doing it. But they also have that big bust. I didn't cover it on the show because again, it was disgusting. But they had a big bust late last year on Reddit. Shocker, right? Reddit is such a cesspool. On Reddit, one of the leading Pizzagate QAnon subreddits, their mod. I mean, again, this isn't surprising anyone because, again, Reddit is a cesspool, but their mod was busted for downloading child porn. And the whole subreddit was to exposing the pedophile elite. Like, that's the type of weirdos you get going on. Not all of them. There are a lot of people, there are people who put their lives in danger trying to stop this stuff. They may be doing it on their own. Hats off to them. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for the donation. Yeah, it's just creepy. That's what Jonathan was saying. It's creepy, and it's like that is something that I think that everyone believes in, to not be putting kids in harm's way unless you're a creepo. But you can be creepo adjacent, and that's where I don't want to see him be. Definitely don't want to see him be. The Masonic Quads Church-going Mule donated $33.33. Jonathan called that out as Masonic Quads. You know, it'll be interesting. Rudy says, I feel bad for Zublik, though. He's never getting out of the rabbit hole. It's weird because you never know. He could have a total turnaround, and again, we see these people fly from one into the other. Not everyone. There are people who... I have a buddy who, ever since he was in high school, diehard socialist, and he's my age, and he's still like, he's never stopped being that. And there are people who the same way are just like patriot all the way. Remember, you don't always have these shifts, but if you have someone on an extreme side, they very rarely go to the middle. It's the same thing. Like, I think I saw this on Bill Maher's documentary Religulous, which I saw when it came out, and I was like, oh, this is the best documentary ever, dude. Because, I'm religious, but you can make fun of it. We can have this discussion. I watched it again a couple years ago, and I was like, it doesn't hold up that well. But I think it was Bill Maher who said, isn't it weird that whenever you have a Satan worshiper who leaves the church, he always becomes a fundamentalist Baptist? They never go from it. You never hear about a Satan worshiper who becomes Episcopalian or a Satan worshiper who becomes Mormon. It's always from one extreme to the other. Jason, this is from Jonathan. Jonathan's donation here. Jason, have you heard of that photog, Jordan Matter, who only takes images of gross, contortionist, and I have not heard of Jordan Matter, no. No. And the thing is, and everything he does seems really suspicious. Yeah. I would guess so. And this is one of those things where you start... The other day I was looking at that... remember the gymnast, that Gary Nasser, I think it was Larry Nasser? And he sexually abused all those gymnasts. I don't want to talk about this much longer, but to answer that question, you have that horrible thing. And in an Olympic-sanctioned training center where you have all these professionals from around the world, people who are coming out to give their experience and their passion to these young children and make them better athletes in a place that highly...
Rick, in case there are people who've bought this and they've not really heard Carl before, remember we were talking a while back about the questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actors Studio, where the host, James Lipton, always asks the same questions to every guest. And it's just supposed to sort of, get their creative, juices flowing, their mind working. We did ask Carl some of them. We never completed the questionnaire.
Oh, let's go.
I'd fire a few more at him.
And that'll also introduce people to the way his mind works a little bit. Okay.
Question 6. What sound or noise do you love, Carl?
There isn't really one that I love. Nice noises, like the ones you get, like I like going in the park, right? and you go, oh, that's nice, isn't it? And you get, like, bird noises and stuff.
Give me your fucking wallet!
But then, like...
Things like nice noises like that, and...
But
You fucking... You cunt! Why did you fucking sleep with her? It's lovely in the park, isn't it?
But with those bird noises comes a bit of stress, right? Because I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought, that's odd, that's out early, right? Because it's like sort of summertime and that. Sure. And then I thought, oh, that's nice, and I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right? And I was like, hey, put it down, right?
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean? Why are you interfering? Why were you interfering
in nature
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go, what's going on? And they come up to see what's happening.
What? No way. But why do they come up when they think it's raining?
Because they're hearing, like, knocking on their land, and they're going, who's that? And they come up.
Sorry, wait a minute. But why do you think they come up when it's raining?
Because they're hearing the noise of the rain.
Yes, but they know what it is. What am I doing? Why am I talking like him? Of course they don't know what it is. Look,
can worms hear stuff?
Yeah.
Well, they got... You don't know anything, Carl!
But I assume they can sense vibrations and so on, but they can't hear in the way we hear.
No,
they don't have ears,
can't.
do they?
Of course they can't.
Well, whatever, right? So all I'm saying is that.
But what was this thing about these worms? They hear the tapping and go, oh, what's that? Right, tell us. Okay, so start. You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just kind of, you're down there. You can't see anything. It's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So
and you
hear
eyes.
about this, don't you? You hear about blind people have got really good ears. And it's the same with a worm. No, they do. It's an extra sense.
No, it's not. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. They start getting used to relying on them more, but it doesn't. So you don't turn into bionic woman because you lose your eyes.
No, but you do, because you use them more. If you use something a lot, you get better at it. So their ears are good. So all I'm saying is, so this rain's coming down.
I don't know who to believe here, Rick.
The rain's coming down on the land. The worm goes, what's going on?
Goes, what's going on?
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about.
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, oh, it's just rain again? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time. I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
it's not thinking, it's not choosing its favourite food.
But you don't know that. It's the same way you're saying to me, I don't know what a worm's thinking. You don't know what it's thinking.
I know it's not thinking.
You don't know that, though, is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. The thinking...
There's something in this room that's not.
All right, what about this one, then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
a mind?
A feeling? Because here's something that...
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and open.
Well, can you stop using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen. Do you know I've been to my mum and dad's? Right, I was talking to my mum about stuff.
Oh, right.
And she was saying how this flower solved a crime. What happened was there was a murder. But it's obvious that someone who works in the office did this murder, because that person's only a sort of a typist. He has, they've done nothing wrong. So they said, that's narrowed it down, right? So this flower man came in, and he said, I can sort this out for you. So they said, what do you mean? He said, well, during the murder, the plant was knocked off the cabinet.
Yeah,
right.
And he had some special wires that you can put on the flower, and it's sort of shaking and stuff, because even though you can't see it, flowers pick up bad vibes and what have you. If you shake a plant, it doesn't like it.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was, he said, right, what we'll do, we'll put the plant back on the shelf, we'll water it, we'll calm it down, then get
a nice cup of tea.
Then get every member of staff to come in the room and just go near the flower.
Right.
So don't tell them.
So like a lineup for the flower.
Kind of.
Kind of like a lineup.
But don't tell them what we're doing. Just send them in and say, stand by that cabinet where the murder happened and what have you. Anyway, it was a long day. They were getting through a lot of stuff. It was a big office block. They were going, this isn't working. You know, the flower's not budging. Suddenly, they get into like the last part of the day when they were almost giving up.
They call in a sketch artist. The plant gives them a...
Some caretaker fella.
Caretaker,
Said, go over there.
Was it an old man that, I mean, because Scooby-Doo didn't like him from the beginning.
No.
So, you know, why is that janitor so evil?
They send the caretaker over to the plant. He's going, you know, he's thinking I've got away with it. Of course. Plant starts shaking, what have you. They did him.
Okay, wait a minute then. So, was there any other evidence?
Was that the only evidence they used in the trial?
Well, no, it's one of them things though. Imagine it, if you're that caretaker and you think I've got away with this, then suddenly a plant grasses you up. You weren't expecting that. So suddenly you're off guard.
And you go, okay, can't get that chrysanthemum away from me, I did it. You're talking absolute bollocks. That was one of the most nonsense pieces of shit I've ever heard in my life.
Listen, well, it happened, but...
It didn't happen.
But what I was saying is about the worm, right? The worm that I saw, like I say, it was a sunny day. I thought, you know, what's that doing up here and what have you? So, anyway, so this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break sort of thing. So I went, oh, yeah, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then, when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like. And yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a word!
But it just swallowed it really quickly in that. And I thought, that's life, innit? That's what life is like. 1 minute it's there, then it's not. I just thought, there's the worm. It came out, it was happy, didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance. The robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it, and I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. You put it off, but then it won. That's the terrible thing, isn't it? The worm was going, oh God, Carl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it, God? You've sent Carl Pilkington. Oh, I'm dead. That's it. Okay, eat me.
But all I'm saying is our bird noises are normally quite relaxing, but not for the worm.
Unbelievable. That was one question.
Question 7. What sound or noise do you hate?
As me or as a worm?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Why would we be asking a worm?
I've never heard an actor say that to James Lipton. When he says, what noise do you hate? What, as me or a worm?
No, wow. All I'm saying is, because of my last question, that's what I was saying. A bird noise is relaxing to me.
Right.
Well, it's not anymore, because I think of all the deaths and stuff that go around that.
So now you hate the sound of birds?
I'm just saying it's changed my view on it. It's like anything, isn't it? Every noise can mean a disaster somewhere.
Can it? Why?
Think of some other noises you like. Okay, what's a lovely noise?
No, hang on. Why would the sound of laughter, people laughing, why would that suddenly cause? Why would that also signify disaster?
Asylums.
Yeah, that's depressing, isn't it?
They're always laughing in asylums.
But it's a scary laugh, isn't it?
What?
It's like, oh. If you wake up in the night by the sound of, like, a baby laughing. No, if I had a baby, right, and Suzanne was out, she'd work nights or something, and I'd nodded off, I'd put the baby to sleep, and then it's 3 in the morning, and I'm woken up by the sound of a baby laughing, that would terrify me.
How is this that? I just think the baby's sitting up in a chair like Chucky, going,
well, no, I think the baby's reading his diary. Thinking, oh Christ, this is my father. I just hope I'm adopted.
Oh God, a baby laughing. Oh God. Come on. No, I'm not getting off this subject, right. So what other sounds, right? What other sounds, right, more you like. Well, come on, there must be sounds you like.
No, the sounds he hates are even more fascinating. This terrifying, haunting baby laugh.
I don't think you can pick any sound and say, I like that.
I imagine we don't like the sound of a tiger. evolutionary speaking, that's probably not a good sound to hear.
Yeah. See, the problem with that is...
But there are obviously some calming noises because, you know, when your mother sings you a nursery rhyme or something when you're a kid,
Your mother's
very
voice.
calming.
Of course, your mother's voice. That's probably pre-programmed for you to like it.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's crisp and cool, like
So there's a time and a place. A lion's roar, or whatever you just mentioned, a tiger growling. It's all right if you're in a zoo. You go, oh, look at that. So there's a time and a place for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know what that point is. I don't know how that relates.
Because I mean, I live in London. If I woke up and heard the sea, I'd be worried. I'd go, what's going on?
You're like the worm who hears the rain.
Question 8. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
This is you as you, not as you as a worm.
But have I had the training? No, well, I've said before, haven't I, about maybe having a go at an operation.
I don't know why it leaps from where. It leaps from no ambition, where if he could have a job, it would his best job he's ever had is a paper round, and if he could have a job, he'd like go to the cobbler once a week and then walk a dog. To I'd like to have a go at thoracic surgery.
No, I'm just saying, I bet it's like we do this, and you know, some people like listening to it and what have you, and you go, fair enough, but I never feel like I'm doing anything of any worth.
No, you're absolutely right there.
But if you're going into like an hospital, which are places that are pretty miserable anyway, as an office space. Do you know what I mean? When you're in waiting rooms and that.
I'd hate to have my office in, you know, A&E.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's loads of ill people coming in. They're normally upset. Do you know what I mean? It's even if the sun's out, it's a depressing building, isn't it?
There's people handcuffed to policemen.
Not only have you got to go in that building and work in it, but you've then got the pressure of changing a lung or whatever I've said before.
Changing a lung, yeah.
But I'd like to have a go at it so I can say...
You've done it.
I've done that.
So, under what circumstances, in what world, do you think anyone's going to let you have a go at changing a lung and that? Jim will fix it?
No, I'm just saying the
Comic relief?
But the way the world is, and the way that there's more and more people, more and more doctors are needed. I mean, it's already happening now that people are doing jobs that they're not really qualified for because they get sort of what's the word? Sort of uppered too early.
Uppered. I love the fact it's basic language. It's like it's unbelievable. It's like there are only sort of like 50 words in the English language, so he has to, like, you know, change them and customise them. Uppered.
Do you know what I mean?
Promoted.
Yeah, promoted.
Yeah.
They get promoted.
I prefer uppered.
Uppered's great.
So
why was I not uppered? Unbelievable.
So do you know what I mean? I think because more and more people are knocking about, we need more and more doctors.
Yeah.
You get a job in a doctor's, you're going to be promoted sooner now, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I'd do is I'd probably upper you, and then what's the word? You go away them.
I think it is you go away them.
You leave the door. You leave the door. You fire them. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'd upper you and go away the doctor, if anything.
But I've been to, you know how I don't like going to the doctors and stuff.
Yeah. Because you're always scared that they might investigate below the bridge.
Yeah, but I checked on that before I signed up to it, and then they said, right, before we can take you on as a patient, you've got to have a health check, right? Which I thought was odd, because it's almost like saying, if you're ill, you can't be having you coming here, right? But I said, right, okay, fair enough, what is this health check? And they said, oh, you know, we just check your body out and make sure you're fit and healthy. And I thought, that isn't enough information, you know, I want to know if it's the old finger trick. And I said, what do you mean though? When you said health check, what do you do? And she said, oh, it's just that I think she knew what I was getting at. And she said, oh, it's just the blood pressure, your height, your weight.
Okay.
That's about it. So I went and had it and stuff. But you had to, before you sort of said, right, I want this doctor, they give you loads of forms to fill out, right? And one of the things they did was, if you die, what do you want to give away? Right, like a donor, and it had like it's basically everything you've got in you. It was all your main bits: your liver, your heart, your kidney, and what have you. And I thought, I really thought about it for 40 minutes or so. I didn't just rush into it. I was sat there thinking, you know, if I'm dead, does it matter and stuff? But I was really concerned when it said about the eyes.
Right.
Why? What do you mean? What? Because can they have your eyes after you die?
It was. I think it was 4th on the list.
Right.
So they just sort of crammed it in. I think they know everybody's a bit cautious about giving their eyes away.
No one cares more about the eyes than the liver or the why do you care about giving your eyes away when you're dead?
Just because of that thing of, you know, we don't know for sure yet. I know that you poo-poo it, but the afterlife thing.
Right,
you don't know for sure if.
Well, why would there be? How would there be? How would it work? Why do you think there's an afterlife? Why do you think there's
Because we're here already. It blows my mind that we're wandering about this planet anyway. Do you know what I mean? The fact that we're here just by
gravity blows your mind, Carl.
No, but do you know what I mean? The fact of your mum and dad have it away and then you just pop out and it's like, how's that happened? And then it's
what happens is the father inserts his...
No, but what I mean is, you know, not just that bit, how I've said before about my heart just sort of pumping away on its own, no one's keeping an eye on it, it's not plugged into anything, and yet I want to move my hand like that and it does it.
Yeah.
That blows me away, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're still worried about whether you control your brain or the brain controls you.
So what I'm saying is, how do you know what goes on after life? Because, do you know what I mean?
So why in an afterlife would you want your eyes more than your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and your heart?
Because ghosts don't eat, do they? So you don't need all your liver and your kidneys and stuff, because they're only there to sort your food out. But your eyes, if you're a ghost, I don't want to be a blind ghost. Because you're around forever then, aren't you? Once you're a ghost, that's it. So the idea of being blind when you're alive, you go, well, alright, then maybe in the afterlife I might be treated to a pair of eyes. But the fact of wandering about, dead for years, bumping into stuff...
Oh God! Oh, it's amazing!
So,
that's an amazing image!
So I didn't tick that box.
But why? I don't understand. In your theory of the afterlife, why is it that this ghostly Carl, why can he survive without a heart, but he can't survive without eyes? Why? I mean, surely if you're this ghostly apparition, you can just see everything and you can do everything. You don't need the body.
No,
because you're a ghost.
Yeah, I know, but I think when you're a ghost. Say like how they've seen ghosts in...
Right, could I just say now for any listeners, this is not the thoughts and beliefs of the management. There is no such thing as ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ESP or any mumbo-jumbo. Carry on, Carl. So when there's a ghost,
when they see ghosts in, like, old castles and stuff, they've had their head cut off because they've been up to no good, right, years ago.
But they're carrying it around normally under their arm.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't reattached itself. So if you take the eyes out...
But, Carl, how is this ghostly creature able to function? It doesn't have its head on anyway. It's carrying it under its arm, so the suspicion is it doesn't need its head.
No, it
just happens to be carrying it around because it wants to keep it with it.
The ghost is always in the last condition that it was in when it was in...
Who makes these rules?
The way you are in your last bit of life is how you are as a ghost forever, even in the fashion. Like I say, the ghosts that you see never wear modern clothes, so it's always the Victorian stuff. Now, if they could change it, they would, but they can't because they're stuck with it. So that's
why did you see cavemen ghosts? When did ghosts start? They didn't kick in till about 1830, did they? What if you die when you're having a rectal examination? Are you always bent forward with your trousers around your ankles and someone's finger up your arse?
But why would you die when you're having that done? That's why I'm not having it done, if that's...
No, but you might have both been suddenly killed in a terrible disaster.
Yeah, a meteorite hit you.
A meteorite hit you, or...
that's when you get the moaning ghosts, isn't it? They're the ones who aren't happy.
So you're going round, bent forward, you've got a doctor's finger up your arse, and what are you doing?
You start going, oh... And that's when you have to get the vicar round.
What do you mean?
They have to put you to rest and what have you, don't they?
And what does a vicar do when he's going... So I get the vicar round. Okay, right,
I don't want to get caught with someone with their finger up my arse when the vicar's come out.
The last thing I want to catch me is the vicar coming in when I've got a doctor's finger at my ass. I usually hide in the wardrobe when that happens.
Whenever that happens.
So listen, no, wait. So you're haunting, right? It's years later. It's 100 years later. You're around this doctor's surgery, and there's people coming, and the doctor there, the new doctor there, and it's 2073, and they go, Vicar. They go, Vicar. There's a strange ghostly apparition. It looks like an old doctor, right? And he's got his fingers up this sort of like little. It's like a chimpanzee, but with a shaved head.
No, but the doctor wouldn't be. Are you saying the doctor dies as well?
Yeah, they die. You die at the same time with his finger up your ass, and so you're forever having a little rectal examination with your little trousers around your ankles.
Well, that's when it'd be best not to have your eyes. Here's another one.
This is extraordinary.
No, but listen to this. Listen to this. This is a good one.
Oh, this will convince us. This one.
Yeah, this way. Okay.
This
will be proof. Go on.
I watched the programme the other week about dead people.
Of course you did.
Right? And it was people who had been found in their house. You know, they haven't got any family.
Yeah.
They died, sat in their armchair. Nobody's knocking on the door, ringing them and checking if they're all right.
Yeah.
Right? So they die and they rot away in a chair. People, you know, the next door neighbour called up whoever you call up for dead people and go, there's a dead body next door, it's stinking, can you come and get rid of it? Right? They go in and...
I forget what service that is.
I don't know where you find that in the Yellow Pages.
It's a good business though, isn't it?
Hello, corpse removal.
Stinky dead people.
So they go in, there's flies everywhere.
Of course there is, yeah.
The doors and the windows are shut. Where are them flies from?
What do you mean?
Do you know that thing, reincarnation?
Yeah.
I think there it is. There's an example of it. How there was no flies in there. A body rots away. Out of the body comes flies. So you live on.
Or out of the body comes flies from the maggots that were in the body.
Oh, okay, maggot then. So we've gone on. We've lived on.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying
fly
now,
isn't a reincarnation of the maggot. The maggot is the larval stage of the fly.
No, but forget all the maggot fly.
Right.
Think about going from man to a fly.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying the windows and the doors on this house was shut tight.
Now, your
no
question
flies
is,
had got in. They hadn't got in.
They had got in.
They hadn't.
They'd already there. We're surrounded by them. We've probably got fly eggs on us now.
Well, all I'm saying is, it's weird that them flies were in there when they weren't in there. I don't think this fella would have had loads of fly eggs on him. But I just think it's a bit odd.
Why? What do you mean?
I just think there was loads of them. You didn't see it.
But it only takes one fly to lay loads of eggs.
Yeah, but...
So you think it's wiser to ignore Ricky's answer and go with your ghostly supernatural reincarnation one? You think that's the wise, sensible way to go?
I just think it's a bit odd how every time someone's got fly eggs on them.
So that, to you, is less of a chance of happening than when you die, some of you turns into flies. Fly parts.
Well, it happened when my dad chucked a turkey away in a bin, and it was only in there for about a day. I went to go and put like a crisp packet in the bin at the end of the garden and what have you. Picked the lid off, full of flies.
Yeah.
Now the bin lid. Yeah.
It's like a constant fight with his own brain.
Was fairly sealed and what have you.
Yeah.
Again, it's the turkey living on.
No, it's not. It's the fact that while it was out on the table...
It hadn't been out on the table. We didn't eat it in the end because it had feathers on it. My mum said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but what do you mean it had feathers on it?
My dad got it off a mate and said, yeah, I've got this for Christmas, but it was still virtually alive. And my mum said, I'll just get one from the supermarket. So we put it in the bin.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is...
I'm telling you, the eggs were already on it, mate.
It's just an idea about it. It's a theory. Everyone's allowed one.
But it's bollocks.
Back to the Inside the Actors Studio questions. Question 9. What profession, Carl, would you not like to do?
Great. Okay. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Glad we've solved that. Kings of Leon.
You see, in a way, some bad jobs are good jobs in a way. Because, one, it means that when you have holiday, you really appreciate it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, you see, I always thought, like, when I had a job where I used to have to do, like, 4 hours a night when I worked through the night, I only had 4 hours to do from 2 in the morning till 6, right? but it meant that when I was on holiday, I never really appreciated it, because between 2 and 6, I'd be asleep anyway. So, unless I got up at 2 in the morning and went, I'm relaxing now, instead of working, you don't get the full...
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. The rules that you live by, about what you can enjoy and what you can't.
What's good with a holiday, right? If you work, say if you work in a factory from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, packing socks into a rubber bag, right? Between 8 and... What time did I say my shift was?
8 and 8. It's a 12-hour sock packing job. It is murder.
I also like socks into a rubber bag.
Yeah.
I love to get my socks in a rubber bag. And also, he forgot the timings immediately. He said the sentence, then it went out of his head. It's like, so if you're packing, from 8, what time did I say it was? What are they packing?
So, alright, so you're a sock stuffer, you do a 12-hour shift.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So, you go, oh, come on, Rita, no more socks for me. I don't want to see another sock for a week. Have you got the rubber bag? Don't bring the rubber bag. That's the last thing I want to see.
So what I mean is, when you're on the beach, right, by the sea, between 8 and 8, you're thinking, oh, this time yesterday I was packing socks in a rubber bag. And you can really enjoy it. You can keep going. Oh, an hour later you can go, oh, I was packing socks yesterday.
Yeah.
And you can
I'm glad you enjoyed it, love. Will you stop going about the fucking socks? We're on holiday.
I don't think this marriage is going to last.
Oh, look, Rita. I know, you were packing fucking socks yesterday. Let's not fucking talk about it for a week. You boring bastard. Oh, Rita, what? This time is... I know, you were packing fucking socks in a rubber cunting bag.
No, I was having lunch at this time, you fucking slut.
Oh, Christ almighty.
So what I was saying is, when I was working from 2 in the morning till 6, to really enjoy being off from there, if I was on holiday,
you'd have to get up in the middle of the night
to go, oh, this time yesterday I was playing...
Surely the joy is not having to get up in the middle of the night. Then when you get up and thought, God, thank God I didn't have to get up in the middle of the night like I usually do. I slept through like a normal person. Surely that's the joy.
I think the joy is going, oh, I'm normally doing this at this time.
But that's ridiculous, because if you worked right till 6 a.m, you presumably went to bed and slept in till sort of 3 in the afternoon or something, yeah? So you'd be up at 10 a.m. going, wow, usually I'm asleep, so you get it then. So you're talking shit again.
And the final question from the Inside the Actors Studio questionnaire. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Is that how it works?
Oh.
No,
what do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't know. You hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates. I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns the place, what's he doing there? He could put anyone on it.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
OK, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No, you go through the gate, Peter goes, oh, you're expected, he's got an appointment, we're going through the God. You go through the God, you go through a few doors, go up the top floor, right, past the executive washroom, into his big office, OK, that overlooks the universe.
And God says, why have you got a doctor with his finger up your arse?
And you go, well, you should know, you caused it.
So what?
So you've gone in to see God, it's an audience with God, you've died, you've gone to heaven, and what would you like God to say to you at that point? He might offer you great wisdom, he might ask you a question, he might tell you something. What would you like him to say?
And is this just one visit? This is like, because it's my first day.
Yeah, it's your first day. You get a chat with him, yeah.
But after that, I don't.
Well, you might bump into him at the odd, the
Christmas party,
the AGM.
But I'm not going to be myself, am I? I'm going to be in shock a little bit, because it's like, I mean, I'm not comfortable on the first day of holiday. Because you're in different surroundings, the hotel, you've got to get used to where everything is.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get the best out of me.
Well, no, but you have eternal bliss.
Yeah, he's got a long time to get to know you, and he knows everything anyway, so don't worry about it.
So what does he see me then?
What would you want God to say to you? So you walk in there, you're happy with it because you understand now you're dead, and it's a whole new world, and everything's all right. You feel great. Like, what am I saying?
Well, anyway,
I'm going along with this drivel.
Yes.
What would you like God to say to you?
All right.
Probably just say, oh,
You're welcome. How are you?
you've done well in that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So, welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout. You know, here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like.
I love this. This is a great answer. And my favourite one is you never did anyone any harm. That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's giving you a little map of the area. It's big.
He'll sort of say, this is where you go for this is where you go for that. I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that. I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit, a little bit
cagey.
Yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away.
Even want to.
No, but because the thing is, if you've done I've done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life.